Welcome back. Weeds and other invasive species are a concern to any rancher or farmer. They can reduce grass yields, and many are unpalatable or even toxic to livestock. That's why producers are always on the lookout for new ways to control unwanted species in their pastures. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Brian Baxter has more on a new tool that could be a game changer in the fight against prickly pear cactus.
Grass is a valuable resource on any operation, but it's especially important on ranches in the Southwest where the hot, dry climate can tax the quality and quantity of the forage. Not only does grazing have to be properly managed, but weed and brush control is critical as well. One troublesome plant is prickly pear, which has caused problems for many producers across the Southwest.
We had just areas of prickly pear that you couldn't walk through, and the cattle couldn't walk through it, deer couldn't walk through it. It was just a huge problem, and it was just completely taking over the rangeland.
There's ranches right here south of me that they didn't keep the mesquite and the prickly pear under control, totally went out of the cow business. It'll take it over.
Prickly pear was a hot topic at a recent field day at RAFTER L Ranch in Abilene, Texas. These water-robbing plants have been a thorn in the side of many ranchers because they can flourish in a wide variety of conditions.
Prickly pear is a challenge in this part of the world just because it is very well adapted to West Texas. It has figured out how to survive in, not so friendly situations. It can increase in drought situations from 25 to 30% a year as far as space that it occupies. So it moves in a lot of times quicker than people expect.
What the aggravating deal is about prickly pear is, for one, it limits the forage production greatly. Somebody told me one time that you can grow a lot of grass underneath a mesquite tree. However, trying to grow grass underneath prickly pear, it is impossible. So by controlling prickly pear, you can tremendously open up more grazing access and also grow more grass in those areas that are occupied by the prickly pear.
The good news is ranchers have a powerful new tool in the fight against prickly pear. MezaVue herbicide from Corteva Agriscience, the agriculture division of Dow DuPont, offers fast and consistent control of prickly pear. When spraying herbicides in the past, it would take several years before prickly pear would show symptoms and die. That's not the case with MezaVue, which produces results in a fraction of the time.
That makes a pretty tough bill of sale to a rancher when you tell them, you can spray it this year, in 3 years you'll start getting a little bit of return on investment. And so we're constantly looking for herbicides that are more active on prickly pear in terms of speed of activity. And I think that's what we found in MezaVue. MezaVue is a combination of 3 different actives. Each one of those actives in there is doing something different. That's the part of it that's pretty neat to me, that we can have actives in there that not only help each other, but do something different to get to an end result that much faster. And that's what we're getting with MezaVue. We've essentially found a quicker way to kill prickly pear and a quicker way to see visual activity.
MezaVue can be applied from the air, on the ground with a broadcast rig, or you can treat individual plants. It's also gentler on oversprayed non-target oak trees. In West Texas aerial trials, oaks have tolerated MezaVue better than existing options and recovered from any effect sooner. Mark and Larry had a chance to try MezaVue on their own operations, and both are impressed with the results.
I don't think there was any doubt in our minds that Toradon and Surmount were going to work. They were all going to work. It's just a matter of how quickly they work. Both of them, I feel like were fairly slow for the prickly pear to really become, what I would consider dead. And what I do see with MezaVue is that it's working a lot faster, and looks like, well, I know in the previous 2 years it killed it a lot faster. So I think that's important when you're having to wait for a process that might take 3 to 4 years. Anything you can do to speed it up and get grass production is what we're after. And that's what we do. That's what we're trying to grow grass as fast as we can.
I tried every spray that's ever came out. I've done hand burning with pear burners, fed them to the cattle. I fought prickly pear in every way you can imagine. That MezaVue, It seems like it's working this first year better than anything I've ever tried. And I think I've tried them all. And the MezaVue is the best thing by far I've seen.
This is our individual plant treatment site where we treated some individual plants earlier this year, about 5 months ago. So these are about 5 months since being treated. And this is the MezaVue, the new herbicide. This is about 5 months after treatment. And then over across an untreated buffer zone is the current standard of Tordon 22K. So what we've seen with MezaVue is that you get a quicker visual out of it. It starts yellowing the pad within about 3 to 4 months after application. And then, especially with individual plant treatment like this, it begins to desiccate fairly quickly behind that. And then the plants succumb to desiccation and death after that within typically about a year's time.
For decades, Dow AgroScience has offered a full line of products to suit nearly any rangeland or pasture management situation. As MezaVue shows, it's a tradition producers can expect will continue under the name Corteva.
Corteva continues to be very dedicated to agriculture in general, and one of the commitments that we have carried out from Dow AgroSciences has been our commitment in the range and pasture business. And we are continuing to bring new solutions and have a great portfolio of products in the pipeline that we're really excited to be bringing in the next few years.
The top producers are always working to improve not only their cattle herd, but also their grasses by eliminating problems like prickly pear. Now, with MezaVue, ranchers have a chance to reclaim valuable grazing land.
We were utilizing probably 50% of our pasture because of prickly pear, and I think I would safely say that we've gone to probably 95% utilization of the pasture just by controlling all the prickly pear.
It's unbelievable the extra production of grass that I'm seeing behind that MezaVue. And I'm thinking it's almost double. It's just totally amazing how much the difference is where the MezaVue is.
Reporting from Texas, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
You can learn more about this groundbreaking new prickly pear control option from Corteva AgroScience by visiting the website MezaVueHerbicide.com.